I think we're live, man.
Oh, are we? Are we live? Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah. So
All right.
I entitled this stream as "Ortho on Ortho Violence" because I've seen a lot of ortho on ortho violence, and I must say I don't know if it's getting to me, but perhaps I'm wanting to enact some ortho on ortho violence right now, because uh, I guess sin tries to multiply itself in my own spirit. So you if you want to fight your own, let's say, goodness, your own, let's say, instinct to do good, I would appreciate it. But you're welcome to be good because I'm gonna be a little bit bad. We're
Okay.
gonna
Good cop,
we're
bad cop.
Yeah, that would be fun. So I've seen a lot of hate between, let's say, Orthodox, I don't know, intellectuals and content creators, and I wanted to shed some light into some things. Are you able to see this?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this Bible Illustrated guy, he does,
Yeah. Bojan. Bojan is his
yeah,
name. He's a
Bojan.
Serbian. He's a
Yeah,
Serb.
he does a lot of, let's say, animations, and tries to explain super basic stuff about the faith, and he went against Orthodox ethos, which is like the brand that
Father Peter hears.
yeah, the Father Peter Hears uses to make his content. He also Father Peter Hears also has like a uncut mountain press. Like he
Yep.
produces a lot of really good material, and of course he has helpers. Like the he must be aware of what his underlings do on social media, but he's probably not the one replying. So let's look at this exchange, because I think it's kind of, let's say, indicative of the place we are, right?
Are we? Are
So
we? So we have this tweet exchange right here. It looks very much like he's replying to something that Orthodox Ethos posts or whatever. Do we have the step previous to this in the conversation?
no, I should have to look it up. I'm already doing a very poor job, but it's not
Okay.
even important. It's not even important because it's not that big of a deal. Let's put it this way. I think they're making a mountain out of a molehill. So basically, like, they're already squabbling, and like, okay, easy, give me a name of your bishop. This is a very simple thing for a proper Christian to do. So here we see like accusations of deflecting, of like not being, let's say, obedient to a bishop. Now, this is a question of ecclesiology, right? So basically, this content creator is telling Father Peter hears that he's basically a rogue priest. But the issue here for me, I'm not an expert in ecclesiology. Maybe someone can correct me. But honestly, you're not defrocked. If, like, we know the story behind Father Peter here is like not having, let's say, a bishop. But right now that's like an administrative thing. It's an administrative problem. Like, if he officiates, like, he can ask bishops to allow him to officiate, and he does officiate, let's say, liturgies every now and then. So it's not like he's not a valid priest. So what is going on? What do you think is going on with all of this?
I mean, I haven't looked into the Peter Hears situation in a while with him not having a bishop and all that, but I think that it's just from what I've seen, people call him like a wayward priest or whatever, a vagabond priest. Um, I mean, it's usually, and I'm not trying to accuse Bojan of everything. I like a lot of his stuff. There's a couple things that I like. I don't always agree with him on, whatever, but I definitely think that the controversy that Peter Hears has done, had happened around him with COVID and all that, and him being anti-ecumenist, that a lot of these people aren't engaging with his arguments or his teachings. They are just throwing out a controversy. Oh, can you? I'm not going to engage with what you're saying, your arguments, because I can, ad hominem, you hear or whatever. And maybe that's what Bojan's doing here. I don't really know what the exact context is, but I've seen that with just people I've met before that are ecumenist leaning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, definitely. And what I've heard, what I've read, I didn't find I didn't find the original tweet, but Bojan was saying something about it being like hyper rigorous to want to. It was something about the baptism thing. Like
Right.
he was accusing Father Peter Hears of being too rigorous because. Like a sprinkle is enough, you know, for baptism, something like that. And we have saints like Saint John Chrysostom saying that like you need a three, like you need a full immersion and you need to do it 3 times, and that's a
Right.
baptism, right? And like first of all, I want to say that Saint John Chrysostom is my namesake, so I take his word like on a very special let's say place. I put it in a very special place in my heart. So even if all of this were true, my argument is simply like, what are you doing on the internet going against a priest, like expressing your opinion all like constantly on every single kind of subject when these are canonical issues? Like let's say
Right.
even if this was, let's say, erring on the side of rigor, like you're not in a position to make those choices. Like if it were possible for bishops to make these decisions in terms of economia or rigor, let's say in terms of mercy or rigor, then it, then I'd understand, let's say, a discussion between, I don't know, hierarchy, between the hierarchs in about what's the proper way to go about it. But all I see here is, let's say, a lot of people on the internet trying to, I don't know, expose, let's say,
Right.
witch hunt a priest that they disagree with. So it's kind of already improper. So I don't know. I had I think a short exchange with someone. So I don't know. Maybe I can express my line of reasoning in a way, because I said I didn't understand this squabble. Like if he's not, let's say, defrocked, then he's a priest, right?
Right.
And when people are just like saying, well, show me your bishop, what are you implying exactly? What's your argument? Like, is he not a
Yeah,
priest?
he's not he's not a legitimate authority to speak on these things because he's in a specific situation that is abnormal.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, he's not. Perhaps that's true, right? Perhaps that's true. But like this implies a spiritual movement of, let's say, undermining authority in the sense of like trying to find the faults of someone in the hierarchy. Now there are times to do that, sure. There are times to do that for sure, but this seems to be such a small petty thing, right? Like isn't it it's an administrative problem. Like why would something like that, let's
I
say,
mean, like, do you know Saint Nectarios' situation?
exactly, yeah,
You know, that
exactly.
was very much. I mean, not everything's 1-to-1 with Father Peter Hears, but it was very similar administrative differences. There was some Byzantine intrigue going on, if you will. But
Yeah,
does that mean
exactly.
that Saint Nectarios was illegitimate, or that he wasn't a saint, or that he didn't have good things to say? Whatever, you know, that's just because there's issues being worked out in the hierarchy doesn't mean that disproves him or makes him illegitimate.
Yeah, exactly. And even let's say, let's imagine the worst. Let's imagine that all of this is illegitimate and this and that, but he's still a valid priest. Then what's the gain in trying to exploit a flawed man? And some people argued like, well, but it's a valid question, right? It's a
And it
valid
might be,
question.
it might be. I think, and there's going to be issues and particularities and all these things oftentimes in the church. And I think like there's lots of issues with different hierarchs and patriarchs and all this stuff. And I don't think, I know a lot of people that said we shouldn't critique any patriarch and all that. And I like you said, I think there are times where it's like, hey, this is a real issue. But you have to try to find that middle road of being obedient and not, you can't be a Donatist. It's like, well, because they're ecumenists or because, they are sympathetic to Islam or whatever it is. Then like we should just not be totally disobedient, or they're in some status that they're not in, like being defrocked.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think that even if there's something scandalous about Father Peter's here's situation, we shouldn't go out of our way to scandalize. I think you can ask questions and try to parse it out or whatever, but I do think there can be just a spirit of trying to create scandal.
Yeah, that's exactly, yes, that's where I wanted to go, because what I see here is like, let's say that you have a person asking a question, let's say, and they're saying, well, it's a legitimate question. Why does this person not want to answer who his bishop is, right? And like that question is already loaded. It's trying to expose the other person and undermine them. So why should that, like, even let's put ourselves in the feet of Father Peter Heers and say perhaps he doesn't want to answer because, I don't know, he feels self-conscious about it. I don't know, I'm saying something stupid, or he's a flawed man or whatever. Like, what is the gain in expecting clergy to be perfect? Like, that's really not an Orthodox way of approaching the faith. So it's kind of like a problem of the Western mindset, thinking that I'm entitled to ask questions to everybody and everybody should give me, their time. And why exactly? Because Enlightenment philosophy taught you that you were entitled to walk up to anyone and say anything. No, that's not the way we Orthodox deal with these things. So that's kind of like a more Western mindset kind of thing. Hey, Nadim. Nice to see you there. So anyway, that's the only thing that I wanted to say regarding this topic, but it will come again later because like Bojan and these kinds of cats, like they're at it, like they're constantly doing the same thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can find something else. For example, there was an attack on like Father Deacon Dr. Ananias from now on FDA, and like he was attacked by this guy who is honestly
a couple times.
A heretic, and he made like a really long post like attacking the guy, calling him all sort of things. Like, I don't know, it's impossible to it's honestly impossible to corroborate any of it, but fundamentally if you took the time to read it, like he was basically mad that FDA was basically poaching parishioners from the parish he was in, and that's basically the problem of that was being, let's say, denounced, that FDA was telling other people to go to another parish, which honestly, if you have, let's say, a bad priest, is not a bad thing to do, right? Like, we're all Orthodox. Let's say you have a really bad priest, and you tell your parishioners, hey, let's go to this other parish. Why? Because it's easier to do that than to, I don't know, try to get that priest defrocked or something like that.
Right. So like with my situation, when I was first coming into Orthodoxy, I became a inquirer and wanted to become a catechumen by like when COVID was all happening. Mm-hmm. So, and the priest at that parish, who was like my first catechizing priest, as I became more and more Orthodox in my understanding and my mindset, and started talking to a lot of the other parishioners there, came to realize that he was really on board with all of the COVID stuff. He was pretty heavily ecumenist, had a lot of like modernist ideas, things like that. I love the guy. I thought he was really great. He's really nice, really good, fun to talk to. But especially as things got more and more intense with COVID, I lost the faith in like, with this guy who is going along with this tyrannical regime, would he be able to protect my family? Would he be able to protect this flock? Would he say no when he needs to say no? And I didn't have that confidence. And I found out about another parish like 2 hours away, and my family started driving to that. And there's still to this day families that live like 2.5, 3 hours away from where I live now, who live next to that parish I was going to, that are driving up 2-3 times a week to come to this parish over here. They're driving 15, 20 hours every week to come over here because they implicitly trust my spiritual father, the parish priest here. He held his ground. He doesn't give up. He doesn't do any nonsense with any of the COVID stuff. We all trust him to protect the flock. And that's not to say that the first guy is my first priest was illegitimate or anything like that. It was just a confidence. And I think if that people are going to naturally, a flock is being shepherded by a shepherd. And if that shepherd has some defects, and then that can affect the flock. Right. So I think it was just a natural course of those defects that we saw in this priest led us to go to another parish. And I've talked about this before, and I've had some Protestant people like, that sounds pretty Protestant. You're just picking and choosing who to go to. But I mean, some things to keep in mind. I was an inquirer at the time. I didn't ask the man to be my spiritual father. He explicitly, because I was learning about this stuff, about spiritual children and fathers and obedience and all this stuff. And he explicitly told me, I am not your spiritual father. Never call me your spiritual father. I'm just a presbyter. I'm the priest, but I am not your spiritual father. So I was like, oh, all right. Okay. All right. So, I wasn't like under obedience to him or anything like that. I wasn't even in the church. I wasn't even a catechumen at the time. But I've asked my priest here to be my spiritual father. So if I went to another parish priest or whatever, if I started going to another parish and started disobeying him, I mean, that'd be a different situation, I think.
Yeah, of course, especially when like you have let's say a developing understanding of the faith where you see that your priest is clearly a heretic. Because, for example, this guy, he's basically criticizing FDA for leaving his previous heretical position of evolution, what's it called? Theistic evolution. So right. Basically,
Brain
FDA used to think that evolution was compatible with Christianity, and he grew out of this position. And now there's this guy who's fundamentally a proponent of theistic evolution, let's say trying to make FDA's life harder by like posting this very long rant about how he betrayed and did all this and that, and how he's like, I don't know, a faux intellectual and a faux priest, and like he might not even be a real priest, something like that, casting aspersions. Like
he's a deacon.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was completely stupid. It was completely, let's say, out of place. And I thought, what's up with these guys? Like, the internet is going crazy, man. The internet is going crazy, and these people need to be exposed. Let's say for what they're doing. Dude. Yeah, for the damage they're doing. It's not that. Let's say it's not that we need to hunt and we need to kick them out of the church. That's not my intent at all. But we need to, let's say, correct these people. If not privately, publicly, because like you can try to privately correct someone, but if they insist, you need to correct them publicly. That's unfortunate, but that's the way things are done. So Nadim just hopped on. Hi, Nadim.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Hi.
How are you doing, man?
Good. I heard the conversation and I thought like it's like I really like this topic, so
I want to be a part of it.
So I asked you
Welcome, man.
Graciously welcomed me.
Yeah, no,
Oh, welcome to team.
Thank
So,
you.
now we're getting to a topic that's very near and dear my heart, which is basically the way people are treating converts, especially male converts, and the comments that some people are doing. This Thaddeus Patrick guy, he's a really nasty character in the sense that he's pretending to be a therapist, and like he's using orthodoxy to prop up his let's say his failed attempt at being a therapist. And I think he's also a universalist, and he always has like the most cucked takes possible. And I've heard him make like a big post where he was talking about let's say the problem of young men coming into the church, not looking for Christ or the cross, but a counterculture. And we can agree this is a problem, right? Yeah, I definitely agree. There's some of that. Um, and he's saying the number of women commenting on this is increasing more than a few times now. I have done damage control with women who are hurt by Orthodox men who expect the woman to submit, etc., etc. Yeah, it seems reasonable until you get to the
But who is he to do damage control?
yeah. Let's read this. Unfortunately, it is in some parishes too. This post was inspired by a female friend who was saying she's struggling to go to church and to convince her female friends to come back because coffee hour and such are just male humor and male political discussion. So basically, he's saying that women don't want to worship God because the guys they meet at coffee hour aren't to their liking. Like, how are you putting their lack of faith on men? Like, do you expect men to not go to church and worship God because there might be a crazy guy during coffee
Well, I mean,
hour?
are these people are these inquirers? Are these people who are Orthodox? I mean, I can understand like
Yeah, it's not really specific.
a lady shows up and she meets some weird guy that's talking about conspiracies and Putin or whatever, and she freaks out or whatever. I mean, I mean, I'm not saying it's like that guy's fault, but like we should all be aware of
It's not
of
really
our audience.
specific. Exactly. I
I think it's
agree
almost
with
like I think it's like a both and. Like, of course, those people are responsible for their own spiritual well-being, but we, especially as men, are supposed to lead and I don't really know I don't know. Are they scandalizing these women? Are they being nerds? Are they like being super macho manly? I don't know what's going on.
Imagine there's like a new Orthodox Inquirer woman, and she goes to coffee hour, and they're like, do you know Jay Dyer? They're like, what do you think about the Third Ecumenical Council?
He's asking her like, how's your day going, or what do you think about this and everything. She's like, oh no, that's circular reasoning. That's a genetic fallacy. You like that because your mom likes it. Think for yourself.
We not like in our coffee hour, we never talk about like debates and stuff like that. We talk about like normal life stuff. I don't know what happens in in this guy's coffee hour.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, anyway, I thought this was like the most cocked take like ever. It's like, oh, the women like they don't want to hear that they should be traditional because.
Well, I mean, there are women like that. I've seen a video we could probably find on YouTube of this Greek woman who she lives here in America, and she was talking about like how scandalized she was about these Orthodox people saying that women need to wear headdresses. She's like, do you know how much my grandmother's generation fought for us to be liberated from headdresses? It's like, it's not very good. It's not what we need to be doing then.
Yeah, and the worst part for me is that we are being blamed for the lack of faith of others. It's like, how is it exactly that like they're like we're supposed to be I don't know, faithful because we have faith in God, right? And what's it? What does it have to do exactly with me? If, let's say I'm the worst Christian. Let's say I'm the like I'm Genghis Khan, and I'm LARPing as an Orthodox man. What does it like? I've seen this phenomenon before in lots of parishes, at least 3 parishes, where like women don't want to go to church because they don't want to go to church, because they're worldly, because they're feministic, whatever. And then other people are blamed for it. It's kind of strange, because uh, honestly,
Well, I mean, he is just
the,
speaking in generalities here, right? He's not like saying anybody specifically. So he's just saying like men need to do better. Is that your take?
no, no,
What are you
no.
saying?
My take is like, uh, my interpretation of this is that this person is basically saying that um, a cradle girl doesn't want to go to church because she doesn't like.
Did he
Uh,
say created?
no, he didn't say, but
Ah,
I know a lot of cradle girls who are like that. But in fact, I'm not going to say names, but I know one of them from my parish that she literally like said all sorts of feministic things, and like she comes to church, I don't know, every month perhaps, with her family, probably because she's pressured to come. And I'm thinking, why are we catering to these people again, like the ones who already don't care about the faith? Like, why are we, let's say, lowering the bar? Why are we blaming the guys who are every single Sunday there, like soldiers, striving to become better, to repent, while at the same time, uh, while at the same time saying, "Oh no, sweetie, it's okay if you don't want to come because of the mean masculine guys there." What I see happening is there's a very sick culture that is seeping into Orthodoxy, and honestly, these people like Thaddeus, these Thaddeus Patrick guys, they're allowing it in because they're wanting to normalize the world entering into the church untransformed. So instead of telling, let's say, the cradle girls who are, let's say, being lured by the world, perhaps it's time you repent and you took your faith more seriously instead of just LARPing. Because a lot of them like take. I know the specific one that I'm thinking of. She takes skimpy photographs of herself wearing the cross. Like, um, so she's wearing my religion as a prop for her thirst traps. Like, um and I'm the bad guy, right? I'm the bad guy for noticing this hypocrisy, right? Because uh coffee hour is just male humor and male political discussion. Okay, so you
How
mean
small is their parish? Where like I don't know. In my parish, there's like 40 different tables, like round tables in the coffee hall or whatever. There's a bunch of different conversations happening. And I do think that that men need to have like male spaces where they can just be men around men. So maybe that's just what's happened. She feels like it's a male dominated space. I don't know.
there, like, there's a point. Like, I don't know what this Thaddeus guy, like, what's exact, because he's very vague on what he's saying. So, like, I really don't know if he's talking about cradle women or like a new inquirer, because I don't know. But like, what you're saying might be true, but like, I completely see a point with like the cradle people. It's not only women, but like they take the faith as a joke, like like how I did before, and like more like most cradles, uh, a lot, like not most, but a lot of cradles, like they come and they bring their baggage with them to the church. It's not like the other way around. And I don't know why it's happening, but like there isn't really like a good um, way that people are getting rid of this mentality, or like the people bringing in worldly ideas. Like every time I go to a parish in Lebanon, there's like a lot of girls that come like once every blue moon, and they get annoyed. They're full of tattoos. They're talking with each other during the service. They're texting. Like it's crazy, but like for me, it's like such a normal thing that like I don't really think about it that as much. But like since the last time I was in Lebanon, I saw it a lot, and I like saw it like more. It's like it was like a on a projected more, because I'm like what are those two like girls in front of me doing? Like why are they texting and showing like some Instagram posts during
During
during the
liturgy?
procession
Wow.
during the procession of during the cherubic hymn? Like it's crazy. But like we have this problem, like and that comes from ecumenism, that comes from Protestantism, it comes from
Modernism, just in general, just individualism. Dude.
so many reasons for that. And they're here also. Like there's cradle girls here that are in university with me. They come
Another
at past,
perspective is
they
another
come at
perspective is glory to God that they're here, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
glory
yeah,
to
yeah.
God, these people with these problems are in the church.
Yes.
Like I saw
So
somebody's like
they,
I saw somebody like you know that there's just a whole bunch of like anti-Semites and racist people in the Orthodox Church, like white supremacists, and then I can't remember
that's
like some priest
the
like
Orthodox
glory
Church
to
in
God,
Lebanon.
glory to God. I want them here. Like I hope that those people are in the Orthodox Church. Like where else should they be?
Yeah,
They should be
it's
here.
good. It's good. Like once one of the I was talking exactly about that. So one of those girls texted me. She was like, "Where, like, when's the service? Like, I want to go to during Holy Week. Like, I want to go. Like, can you tell me when the service?" And she knew I was going since like last year, the beginning of the year, and she would always like open the conversation, but like never actually go. She would tell me I would go, wait for me, etc. She wouldn't. She asked. She would still like, but this time she asked specifically. So of course I'm like, of course come, and I gave her the schedule and everything, and she came. But like they don't stay for coffee hour. Like she came with her friend. They come and they leave the moment the service is done. Like of course, like glory to God that they're here. Like it's a blessing. They come even if
Well, it's
they
better
don't.
that way than the other way, right? Better than
They,
skipping the service and just going to the coffee hour.
yeah, it's better to commune Christ and not know that you shouldn't commune if you're not confessed, than not communing
Yeah, there's that too.
and not knowing at the same time. So if you don't know that you need to confess, and they're going to commune, I believe like it's glory to God. Like at least they're trying to get closer to
Ivan's
Christ.
saying we are watching this thing now.
No. It was a misclick. It was a misclick. Oh,
Like another perspective, like maybe a pushback to Ivan a little bit, like with this Thaddeus guy. What comes to mind is Dostoevsky in Brothers Karamazov with Alyosha and his spiritual father, who's a abbot of a monastery. He tells him, like with responsibility with other people's sins, he says, if we understood how our sin is connected to everyone else's sin, and like how we can bear we bear the sins of like the whole world in that way, then we would the earth would be soaked with our tears if we really understood how our sin causes other people to sin. So I understand, like I almost like I'm trying to hold those two perspectives in my head somehow. Maybe they're disparate and they can't, but they of course these people make decisions and they can be an error and modernist and feminist or whatever, and they can leave the church and say it's because of me or whatever. In another way, it might be true that that my sin is what's repelling these people, or if my unawareness or my involuntary sins is what's keeping these people from making better choices. And obviously that doesn't mean that they aren't responsible for what they're doing and they're saying it's the men or whatever. Like maybe that is a really lame excuse, and just do better, ladies. Never stop using me as an excuse. But maybe I need to do better too. I don't know. We should soak the earth with our tears.
Yeah, of course. Like glory to God in all things, and like I wouldn't put the blame on like people talking like a certain way in coffee hour, like as long as it's not like hateful. But I would
way too many
blame.
fart jokes. I'm gonna leave the church because there was just the one too many fart jokes. Somebody went like this, and I've been praying that this wouldn't happen again.
No, but there's one thing definitely also that I know in Cradle in like Antioch. We need more catechism. Like if there's catechism, more catechisms for the cradles at least. I don't know, like converts. I don't know a lot, but the cradle convert communities probably they're more catechized. But like us in like cradle communities, we need more catechism. Like maybe half of the Orthodox community in Lebanon and Antioch don't know that they think that confession doesn't exist in the Orthodox Church.
What?
Yeah, I thought it didn't exist. My parents thought it didn't exist.
It was like Bigfoot. Like I heard this.
My parish don't in Lebanon. They don't know that confession exists. Like it's crazy. So like we need catechism. That's the most important thing. Like it's gonna fix most of those the small problems.
Being a convert, I had to do a life confession. That was like one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, dude. You're telling me that they just don't even know that it exists?
Yeah, they just go to commune. They think that if you're not communing, like you have a problem with Christ. Like my parents are like, everyone's communing. Like, why aren't you going? Like, you're better than everyone else. Like, why aren't you communing? Like, you think you know better than everyone else. Like it's. I don't want to ruin my spiritual.
Let me interrupt you here because this what you're saying is super serious, man. Like that's a problem that the priests need to tackle. Like a priest shouldn't allow you to commune if they don't know if you are able to commune. Like if the priest sees that like the people who are trying to commune have never ever like confessed, he shouldn't like
be communing.
Yeah, he shouldn't be communing them. Like, but anyway,
you got to think about this like politically too, because it's not just the priest; it's the parishioners as well. Like, as an example, there's a priest here that I adore that was super based during COVID and all that, and he was not on board with all of the measures, overreaches and stuff. But like 90% of his parish was all on board with it and was asking him to, lay down the law on the people that weren't on it. And so he had to decide, like, am I going to do what I think is right? Or am I going to alienate almost all of my parish and have them walk away from the faith potentially? So he was in this like political situation where he's trying to, it's politics at that point. So, I mean, so anytime there's like, you're in a church and like the priest is like, well, I do think that pews probably suck. Pews suck. We have pews. Everybody's used to them. Getting rid of them, not as simple as saying, let's get rid of them, because the people, have their preferences and they have what they're used to and all that.
Yeah, there's stuff that would ruin a parish, like completely. Even
you think seats? It's not that big of a deal. But no, people love their seats, dude.
No, it's a big deal, that's a big deal. Seats for them.
Yeah, well,
it's like
I understand the thing about seats, but one thing
there's other stuff too.
Yeah, that was a less polemic one.
One thing is seats. Another thing is the sacraments.
Right. Like, well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's yeah, I mean, people were telling him he had to use multiple spoons and not allow icon veneration and all these things. So he's,
I think Ivan is more shocked about that people don't know that there's even confession in the
I mean,
Orthodox.
I've never even heard that. That's wild.
Dude, you blew my mind.
I've never heard of people not hearing about confessions. So
Yeah, they think it's a Catholic thing in Lebanon. They think it's a Roman thing.
we need to
That's
send
just for,
missionaries, man.
that's just for Catholic, legalistic thing. Just like, why would you confess?
it just says confess one to another, dude.
There's a lot of political problems. Like there's so Antioch and Russia are in the same kind of agreement with the Ukraine thing, and mostly like the churches and everything, like the canonical. But there is a belief. There is some beliefs in our church, not beliefs, but like declarations or dogmas that the Russian church actually anathematizes. It's in the anathema service. like
Give me an example.
like for example, we there's
Thou shalt not say Allah, anathema.
no, there's an agreement in Balamand, in like the theological school of Antioch, that says, for example, that if you're married to an Orthodox man, or the same thing for a woman, or no, actually a man, the woman becomes Orthodox without baptism. There's that's anathema in the Russian church. There's the idea that you can commune outside the Orthodox Church. We commune outside the Orthodox Church. It's anathema, and so like, glory to God, we're still canonical.
Yeah. I got some issues, dude.
Man, we need to send like missionaries over there. Like we need to like rechristen those lands. Like
that would create more problems if you bring converts to a cradle country. Ooh, like the problems there. That's gonna be.
Or you're more likely to get like Protestants going over there, not knowing any of you guys are Christian and think you guys are like pagan or whatever. And
yeah, but we have evangelists. We talked all about this, me and Manu, last time. Like, there's in my village, like it got to my village. My village is it's like fully in the mountains, like super small. There's like 93 people that converted to evangelicalism from Orthodoxy because they put their kids in schools. You know, that like it's crazy. It's crazy. You think people look like they see the edits like on Instagram or on Twitter. They see like a based priest from like Russia or Serbia or like even like a Lebanese priest or Serbian or Syrian priest, and they're like, oh wow, I wish I lived there. Like Orthodoxy is like so based there. Bro, we have our problems. Don't worry. We all have our problems.
Nadim, what you said is really You lied. You lied.
No, I blackpilled you. No, I didn't.
No. You didn't blackpill me. Like you rearranged all of the little figures in my map. Like I had all my soldiers, and now I have to move them like in another direction.
Yeah.
Because, man, like this changes everything. Also, I want to commend you for like really like keeping to the spirit of this stream, because what you're saying is really orthodox and orthodox violence. You're basically you just single-handedly condemned your whole church.
Yeah, your whole homeland. Now in my mind, it said Lebanon underneath. It was based and it was like underlined. Now it's crossed out and just says gay in my mind forever. Because
no, it's not like this. I kind of over exaggerated a bit. It's like
it's more homo curious. It's not straight up.
No, it's not, there's no homo in it. It's straight. it's still based, the Orthodox Church in Lebanon and Syria. It's very based. We have some small issues, like those big things, like they're not
Just
some
91
common.
people in a village on the mountains. That's our
They're
issue.
not
We're all
common. Yeah, but
reeling from it
that's
still.
no, but like that's yeah, like you can't you can't judge someone. Like we could all fall into the sin, like any sin we can fall into it. That's what you were saying. So like that's a specific thing, like it's not, that's that people following materialism, it's not, that's not even like a problem in the Orthodox like mindset in Lebanon. So that's not Orthodox versus Orthodox, that's just like some people leaving for money. That's it's not that, but we have our the main thing I was saying is like we have our issues, and the church politics is like it's not important as long as you're in a canonical church, as long as your priest is canonical, as long as your sacraments are valid. That's the important thing. Like I don't think church politics are something that should be discussed in a regular basis.
Right.
It doesn't help us in our salvation at all. It's just like
No.
some talk, and we like the pious Orthodox, the people that go to the Orthodox Church regularly in Lebanon, know their stuff. They know their stuff, and they're based like, and that's the Orthodox people of Lebanon. That's the Orthodox Church. So like what I was describing was more of like the ecumenism in Lebanon. That's a Lebanese problem. It's not an Orthodox problem. And like if the like you can see this in the Byzantine times. Like like Orthodox people have to adjust and try to assimilate their living so they can survive. If
Yeah.
if that agreement, like it's not something that's really like anyone that comes in the Orthodox Church and claims to be Orthodox is baptized. No, that's not it. It's like if you're married to an Orthodox person, you that like, of course I disagree with that, and I think that it's wrong. But
I think there's like a
there is
part of it that
there is
could have like
survival issue about it, because we would lose our like maybe three-fourths of our people or half of our people, like Orthodox people, which is already a very small minority, to like heterodox sect. So it's better for them to be in the church than outside of it. You know that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like it would basically disappear. Like it might have disappeared. I just like some speculation, but it's possible that it could have disappeared in Lebanon if that agreement wasn't signed. You know, so we like we're still canonical. We still have the Holy Spirit. So like Lord willing, the Holy Spirit will set everything straight, and the church will fix itself. All glory to God and all things.
Yeah, man, I think like a lot of these issues are there. I mean, there's like bright sides to them. Like here in America, we have our jurisdictional issue. We have all these different dioceses that you can pick and choose from, right? And you know, that's not like in Lebanon. Are you used to me like, oh, do I want to go to the Greek, the Serb, the Romanian, the
No, there isn't that, but there is like I don't want to go to this particular church because this priest doesn't listen to his bishop. This priest is a modernist. Like you're allowed to choose which parish to go to. Like where
right,
like
but they're not different jurisdictions, right? They have like the same bishop.
no, there is like diocese. Yes, there's different dioceses in Lebanon. It's not like one archbishop. Like it's not like we're all under the same bishop. No, there is like there's specific dioceses that are more traditional than the other ones.
Okay.
So the diocese of Mount Lebanon might be a bit less traditional than the diocese of Tripoli or the diocese of Beirut. Like you know, there is this stuff, and like we have a lot of saints from our lands. Like our lands is filled with saints, and and we have a lot of pious Orthodox people that are fully in the truth and are fighting for the truth. Like we have the stuff. It's just like unfortunately we had an attack, an educational attack on our youth, like since the 1900s from the Jesuits that enforced ecumenism on our country.
Western soft power.
Like yeah, and also like even some Orthodox people deciding to kiss the Pope's ring for less fasting. Like we have had this problem, but the Orthodox Church has persevered there. Like we it has its flaws, but we like our patriarchs have discerned the problems also in other churches. Like we know where we stand with Ukraine. We know where we stand with the diocese in North America. Look, like we have really based bishops. Like we have bishops that have like very strong wisdom. We have a lot of monks that are present in Mount Athos, and there we have what they call the 21st monastery of Mount Athos in Lebanon. So we have a lot of Orthodox wisdom in our country. Like I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
The question for me is, how many goats do you have?
I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of Orthodox guys, young men want wives, but Nadim, do you have enough goats to fit the bill?
We don't really have goats. We have mountain goats. I think our we have hyenas. Our national animal is a hyena.
But you don't eat hyenas, man. Like you don't domesticate hyenas. Like they're not an economic engine. They're the opposite.
Yeah, we eat goats. We eat lamb. Goats are good. Like they're nice. Like we eat sheep. But like this is in villages. Like we roast them. It's like super nice, super good. Like best thing ever.
Yeah. No, definitely. The kebabs must be fantastic. But going back to the original topic of
I have a little bit if you want. I've got that Makisimolig guy, whatever his name is. I am looking back through. I had a spat with him on Twitter a while ago. He was just finding. It looked like he was just like finding Orthodox people and like sending saints quotes at people. And what he was saying was that there's two persons in Christ. That Christ is a human person and a divine person. I was like, well, that's called Nestorianism. And he and I went back and forth about the minutia. I think what I would say is like we're almost in agreement. It was like almost like Amanda would hate this, but it felt like a semantic issue because I'm saying there's one person of Christ. He was a divine person.
Well, that's what heretics do.
He took human nature to himself. So if you want to say he's a human divine person, maybe we're saying the same thing. In my head, and I've been corrected with this. This is one of the things I was corrected for when I was first coming to Orthodox. Like, he's not a human person. Do not call Christ a human person. That's Nestorianism. He's a divine person who took human nature to himself. He's human and divine in his natures. He is a divine person. But this guy was saying he has two natures. They're not mixed, but he's a human divine person. I'm like, well, if we're both saying there's one person and not a human person and a divine person, maybe we're saying the same thing and you're just like you're being anal about the words. I don't know. But he was came off very like smarmy and like here's 20 saints quotes to disprove you. I'm like, I said all those saints quotes have to be interpreted, and they might not mean exactly what you mean. He's like, well, no, not everything has to be interpreted, or that'd be an infinite regress issue. I'm like, everything has to be interpreted. You can't just be like, these quotes are specially privileged to not be interpreted. I don't know. I don't know. The only thing I know about this guy is this conversation I had with him.
Before we continue, I have to clarify something because I'm not really like sure about it. Like, I think that there isn't like a signed agreement or like a dogma thing about like communing outside the church in Lebanon and Syria. I think it's like some bishops allow it. I think that's it. Like I think I overstated, but I was like trying to do it fast. But like don't take me on my word. I'm not sure. Just so
Hey,
I don't.
Nadim, don't go commune at heterodox communions, please.
Sure.
Yeah, this is the dude that was saying that Christ is a human divine person, and that saying he's divine only is heresy. I don't know.
Yeah. I just wanted to show that I think I replied to him. I think I did, like something like,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
it.
I told him like
Dogmatically
evolution,
incompetent.
like yes. No, I'm no nonsense. I'm sorry. I'm no nonsense. I told him like, get over yourself. This is demonic behavior. And he said, delusional and dogmatically incompetent. Like
That's what you're saying, unless he's referring to something else. Yeah, evolution would mean that death is natural, and that our doctrine, our dogma of death being unnatural and created at the fall, is incorrect. You can't have evolution and have the Orthodox dogma about creation.
I have a question. In your creed, when do you say became man or was made man?
Who became man? Is how we
Okay,
say it.
'cause, last year we were arguing with, not arguing, we were talking about it, and me and like my friends from the parish, and like in our parish, like the translation is weird because like it says was born but not made, but then after it says it was made man. So
So I would say that that's like similar to like a filioque issue, where there's the hypostatic pre temporality, like the internal state of the Trinity versus the economia of entering into space and time. Those are two different things. So you can say that the Holy Spirit proceeds through the Father, or from the Father through the Son in time. That's like how it happened in time, but in eternity, that's not the case. That he only proceeds from the Father. So maybe that's something similar. Like he's not made, he's begotten, but he's uncreated. But in time, he took on man. He took on mankind's nature.
yeah, I think our priest explained it the same way, and I think we talked to the bishop the same day, and he's like, I think he was like, yeah, I'm not sure, I might be wrong. Ask the father.
Maybe we could just like pick a better word, because a lot of people on the surface might see like he's saying he's not made, but then he's saying he's made. But I mean, that can be indifferent.
Yeah, because the English speaking father in our parish, like now he's in another parish, but he said that he's actually friends with Father Turbo a lot. Like I think they were together like before they became Orthodox. Anyway, he said that yeah, it's probably like the way that like he was made through the Father, but not like he was made or created, but became is better. Like we're like telling him, yeah, but doesn't became better.
Made and became can kind of mean the same, but yeah, you might be able to think became.
Got a priest in Lebanon that speaks Greek, and he's like, yeah, it means became in Greek. So
yeah, no need to get confused.
Nadim, here we have Caravaggio asking the important questions as always. Is this the secret to your mustache?
yeah, I never saw a hyena though, but it's probably in the air like that. It comes and it fills the air, and
hyena fills the air. You don't know what a hyena is?
Nadim, you probably have like a lot of servants. Like I imagine you like the son of the you're the prince, and you get your hyena milk like fresh from the teeth, and the servant comes carrying it for you. Still warm. You haven't
just
seen
like
it.
putting it on my mustache.
Yeah. Oh my! Wait, no. Oh my gosh! Can I keep talking? I'm gonna pull something up real quick.
Anyway.
So what's the problem in Spain? What's the problems in Spain with Orthodoxy in Spain, Ivan? Or are they known?
No. Now you're sorry you spoke so ill about your own country. You want me to participate in your own?
No, I'm not talking ill about my, like, I don't care. Like, God is more important than any nation. Like, that's not a problem. But like,
Well, I could
it's
give you
not that.
go ahead, but
No, I'm done.
make it important.
You could share my
I said
screen.
it's not that. It's not that. Like, I was trying to say, like, we're still based. We're still Orthodox.
We're still
Yeah, of
based.
course.
Okay.
So very based. And hey, Yvonne, if you could share my screen, we'll see just how based Nadim is. I actually have live footage of him acquiring hyena's milk and enjoying it. I mean, this is where the strength that you gotta. Yeah, there you go. This is where his mustache strength comes from.
Oh
actually.
no, not one of the new,
Yeah.
like new Star Wars.
It burns. Puts hair.
Yeah,
in
that's
his
why
chest.
his beard. That's why his beard grew
Mhm.
actually. 'Cause
If you
he
took
was-
off his shirt, you'd actually see many mustaches all over his torso. Just little curly mustaches all over.
Yeah, I actually grew like a small beard this summer. Like it's starting.
There's
to
a
fill
beard
up.
on your beard.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
like
starting to fill up.
fractal beards.
It was here like before summer. Now it's.
Oh yeah, it's just like right
Mm.
here. It's just like right.
Well, anyway, Nadim, you have a very beautiful beard for an 18-year-old guy. Hopefully, it will get even denser. But going back to the topics at hand,
Sorry,
we're never getting back, right? We're never getting back.
Sorry,
No.
every two guys.
We're gonna get like a small detour. I'm gonna give you what you wanted, Nadim. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the history of Spain. Spain was Orthodox at some point. First, it was Arian because like the conquering Germanic tribes that came down around the third century, they were Arian. Eventually, there were a lot of martyrs, and they converted to Orthodox Christianity. It was really a big deal. And then after the schism, they became Catholic. So unfortunately, the state of Orthodoxy in Spain is basically one of people don't know Orthodoxy even exists mostly. Spain used to be a Catholic country. Now it's not anymore. And like the
It's a Muslim
only
country.
it was a Muslim country for a long time, like
I'm saying now.
yeah, you're well. The thing is, the
Well, you're in
Republic-
one right now, right? In London, you're in a Muslim
It's-
country. Are you safe down there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Morocco. There's Morocco here and Pakistan. There's Pakistan in the UK and Morocco and Algeria and Spain. So it's the annexation of Morocco and Algeria is Spain. So.
Yeah. Well, I like to call it North Africa. I like to call it Africa and Europe.
Yeah.
Like the weather is even quite similar sometimes, but anyway, Spain doesn't have a big Orthodox population. Now with the war, there are lots of let's say Ukrainians and Russians here, at least in Madrid. But it's not enough to say like we have a sizable Orthodox population. My parish happens to be big, like
Huge.
about a huge. But
Careful, you might get shot at doing that, man. Careful.
but,
Just look left.
the state
Yeah.
the state of Orthodoxy is pitiful, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say the state of Orthodoxy is really bad.
Do you have a bishop for Spain, or is he like a bishop of Europe?
He's the bishop of Spain and Portugal. So
Okay.
yeah.
Is it? Are you which like Rocco or?
No. This is I think this is
Greek.
Moscow Patriarchate. So
Moscow.
yeah. So my bishop, like I go to the cathedral, so basically that's like the home base of the bishop. I get to see him often, though I haven't spoken much to him. and he seems to be a based guy. I don't know. Um, Unfortunately, my parish has all sorts of issues. I try to help out as much as I can, but it's not like I can do much for my
Is there
parish.
converts there, or are you like
Yeah,
somewhat of a
yeah,
lone?
yeah, yeah. Shout out to Christopher and to Danilo and to all the guys. Like there are a few converts to shout out to Noah. Yeah, there's it's fun in the sense that sometimes we all live close by, and we sometimes like do dire watch parties. Uh, like, but
Nice, that's cool.
that no, it's super nice. I was super blessed with these guys, like super solid based guys. um but the parish itself is I don't know, going through a tough time. One of the priests was kicked uh out because he said something in favor of Ukraine. So he was, let's say, removed. And there's a lot of
Based.
tension. There's a lot of tension in the parish. So, well, that's the state of my own parish. But other than that, I'd say that orthodoxy in Spain is almost non-existent, and it's painful because I'll be honest, I don't really like Catholic culture, um, and the little Catholic culture that used to be here is quickly evaporating. So unfortunately, I'm like I feel like I'm in the bowels of hell, like trying to, yeah, no, for real. Like
So
there's
you don't like
Is
Catholic culture, and you don't like Spain in the situation there, so you feel like you're in Dante's Inferno.
why don't you like our parish is great here. You can come here to London. You forget the world. Just live like you. Honestly, that's what like most our parish does. Like you feel like they're living so aesthetically, and like our parish is great. We have there's we have like a recent saint that from Essex, Saint Sophrony. Like it's there's a monastery in Essex, like Saint John the Baptist. So Orthodoxy in the UK is growing. Actually, it's great. Like not growing like as fast as in the US. Like the US is growing way faster, but like it's growing. We can see it. We can feel it. And glory to God. But like our parish was initially like full of only cradle parish.
mm,
Um, um, I told Westford like the physical building was they were forced to go out of. So now we do our services in a, it was the cathedral. It was a cathedral. It's still the cathedral community, but we do our services in a Catholic chapel. You know. And but like there's so much converts that actually come and like that are part of the parish. Like it's great. We have like the perfect mix of cradles and converts, and like me personally, I don't really hear a lot of problems between with that. And like I feel like it's an Orthodox parish, not like an ethnic or
Right.
it's like Westport says, but it doesn't have to be full of converts for it to be like a.
My parish is Antiochian, but on our sign, like my priest is very deliberately, he wrote it as our parish's name, Orthodox Church, not Antiochian Orthodox Church, because he doesn't want people to think like this is an ethnic thing. Like when I became a catechumen, I told my brothers, and one brother was like, so you're like Greek now?" I'm like, "Bro, are you Greek? What do you mean?"
I mean, it's called Greek, the Greek Antiochian Orthodox Church. So is he wrong?
Well, I know it's just
In
people have
some
this
way.
like, oh, it's for that group of people, whatever, which is just not how it is.
That's also another misconception in Lebanon. People call us Rum, like um, Greek, but like actually even the Greeks don't call themselves Greek; they call themselves Roman. So like they call us Roman Orthodox. Like, but in the English translation is Greek Orthodox.
My
So-
wife
so-
just fact checked me. It says Orthodox Christian Church on the sign. Thank you, wife.
It has to be. You have to put Christian. Also,
Right.
you
People look at
couldn't-
him like, oh, it's a synagogue. Go in for bagels, but not very much for theology.
Oh,
Yeah, I talked about a lot about like how Greece had a lot of influence, and we still do a lot of our stuff in Greek and stuff. So,
yeah. About bagels.
Quite
now,
delicious.
now,
Tasty
I,
stuff.
I don't know if you've seen the tranny that Jimbo was debating with was a bagel. I don't know if you.
Wait,
I
no, when was this?
I called her her.
Was Barbara? Barb?
I called
What was it?
think
No. Armando.
Emma.
Armando.
Armando. I don't know. Who
Yeah,
Armando is.
I sent like a Bob chat, and he didn't want to read it. he read it like the
Oh,
first
this morning then. Yeah.
he stopped he stopped reading because the thing just left. And I'm like, what's this creature on my screen? Is that specimen?
Anyway, no, he was calling himself Amy, but I imagine he was called Armando or something like that before. Like that's my intuition.
I see.
Or what would be Amos? Amish. No, what's the name that starts with AM in English?
Probably
Amanda.
Rahim. She was called, if she's a bagel, it's probably Rahim or
He was
something.
probably Aaron.
Aaron, yeah, Aaron. Aaron Cohen, probably, or
Anyway, so these women were complaining about the anti-Semitic Orthodox Christians. So they were basically complaining about Orthodox Christianity, right? Like they didn't like that we Orthodox know that, for example, Israel is not our geopolitical ally. Like what what they're mad about? Because, for example, I've seen there's a lot of libertarians at my church, by the way. That's something that amazed
Big
me.
oof.
It was like, I think you haven't understood anything of this faith, basically.
like the non-aggression principle, like let them be. Like, what do you care?
No, not only that, but there's also socialists. Like there was, we already talked with Mr. Westford about this one guy who was harassing me. Like he wanted to convince me that communism was compatible with Orthodox Christianity.
We did a stream on that. Do you remember?
Yeah. And there's also fascists. There's a couple of fascists. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those on Twitter. Like they're fascist Orthodox. They're like he was a great guy. He was.
I don't really think he did anything wrong.
His plan was what the world would be if
If we could just stop talking about him for a minute and just please let's refocus on Winston Churchill. I think he really was the true villain.
Yeah.
They were all villains, man. Come on.
Yeah, I agree. But saying that they're, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird. JD Vance is weird.
Arnold or Adam? Yeah. I think though probably Adam.
What's
Adam
a
is
bagel name in the US? What's like the most bagel name in the US? What's
Ezekiel? I don't know.
No. Ezekiel could be a Christian
like
name.
obvious? Something obvious.
Something it's bagel that couldn't be a Christian.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Ron.
Shlomo.
I can think of like last names. I'm trying to think of like first names.
No, the last name is like Cohen or something.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
Spielberg.
Spielberg. Exactly. I was gonna say Spielberg.
Rabinovitz. Yeah. Anyway, we can move on from the bagel stuff.
Yeah.
We can move on. It's
If you
not
don't, if you want to
necessary.
keep the channel, we probably should.
If you want the
No,
channel,
no.
I have one really good clip of a bagel. If you wanted to look at that before we move on.
Yeah, I would love to, but I thought you were going to say I have a really good bagel friend, like
Oh.
something like that, and I
Sure.
was gonna be like, what?
whoa, you can.
No, I mean, I haven't had a bagel friend since high school, probably.
Good for you. Good for you.
I haven't had a bagel friend.
Oh, you haven't? So this is let's speak for itself.
Excuse me, I'm a Jew, and I just like to say that, in our Bible it says that you're like animals.
And our Bible, what is that?
An honest bagel. An honest bagel. Like we cannot judge her. She's too young to understand. But yeah. Oh, by
She's
the
not.
way.
She's probably like 40 now, and she's probably worse. Or...
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from this topic, it's one that deserves its own, let's say, its own live stream. But
On Shoot or Rumble or Rockfin or X.
yeah,
we
would-
haven't done any streams on like those channel those, so we can like be more open and talking. Like there's so much stuff we kind of not say.
It's because it's the biggest platform.
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys this video that came out today.
I watched it
It was
this morning.
super timely. Father Josiah Trenham is always fantastic, but this was super timely because going back to the whole like women and men and male converts and this and that, and people counter signaling let's say male converts. I thought that what Father Josiah was saying was fantastic. Let's see a little clip.
Their strength and their determination and their focus to become solid churchmen. They're building their lives. They're abandoning the godlessness of our falling society and of the secular globalized nonsense that they see all around them. And they're building their lives on the love of God and on the fear of the Lord and His holy commandments. They're getting
These are
catechized,
my
and
boys.
brought into the church in very large numbers all over the West.
My boys.
Bravo. I was
Bravo.
listening to St. John's first epistle this morning where he commands the young men and he says, I write to you young men because you're strong and you've overcome the evil one and must continue to overcome.
Well, anyway, I think that was enough of that because I want to
It's way too fast.
Here's a 10-minute clip. I want to show you precisely 40 seconds of it. Sped up really fast. I like this is not really related, but I like I'll be listening to like Jim Bob or something like that. I show up like an hour late, so I want to like get all the context. So I'll start at the beginning and then 2x it so I can catch up quicker. And the moment where it goes from the 2x to the live, without fail, my brain tells me he just hit a fat blunt because he's like, oh, the bagels are, and then they were looking
Exactly.
the Twin Towers as they fell. You're like, okay, is he speaking normally? It sounds like he's moving in slow motion.
Yeah, I love this about this community that we watch things at twice the speed because we're not mentally challenged. So, but we sound like we're mentally challenged though.
Right.
And when we speak with each other, especially when our main language is not English, like Nadim and myself, we're especially retarded. Like Mr. Westbrook gets a pass. I'm sorry, he gets a pass. Unfortunately, I wish we could crucify him for a betterment, but no. Unfortunately, he is an English speaker, and this he doesn't know how privileged he is. He has the internet speech privilege, like he has the universal. How do you call it? The lingua franca. Well, if Americans knew Latin, it would be good for them. But
so you're saying I can speak French? I can't speak French. I'm sorry.
No.
I can speak French.
You can speak French, Nadim?
Oui?
Yeah.
Oh, Nadim has a certain what was it? Oh, I just lost the word. Oh my gosh.
I told you, he was
Jit-
nobility. Yes,
Is it-
he's for real nobility. I'm sure of it. He's like already. That's why I asked him about the goats. Like he must have like lots of goats.
Right, right.
No,
But you
I'm not.
come to him and
I'm
he's
not
like,
a
"Take
noble, but
50 goats with you. No, no, please trust me. No, no, it's a gift. No, you don't owe me anything. Just give him
I'm
goats
pretty
left and
sure I'm
right.
not
Oh,
a
what
noble,
a
but
good dude. What am I gonna do with all these goats?
I'm close to it. What's the name for village, like not village, but like a small county president or something?
Mayor,
Mayor.
Yeah, mayor. Yeah. But there's something higher. Like there's the
governor.
mayor of mayors. Yeah, maybe governor of a village though. But the first one, the one that has created the government of my village is my great grandpa. So it's
Oh,
in that sense I might be.
you have to thank him for all the goats you got.
I told you. I told you. I knew.
That's
I
the
knew that.
generational
Nadim.
wealth.
Yeah, I can see it in. I can see. I can
Your
see that.
your grandfather brought you the American dream, dude. You are living because of his generational wealth that he.
No,
generated.
it wasn't democratic. You have to see how our village works. It's like super.
I wish I could say I lived in a village. I'm from a village, dude. I'm from like the suburbs. Like there was like a cow field, like a 10-minute walk from my house, but it was just all concrete.
Yeah, but like our village is like there's so much problems in our village. Like people hate each other. Like I wish it was one of the good villages, but like
Did you guys have, like-
we're making stuff better now. Like,
Did you guys have
people
like
are grateful.
families that were like that hate each other for like 100 years? Like
There's
the
like mafia.
family
It's like
hates
a
the-
mafia style. It's like a mafia style system. Like each family has its head. Like each big family, like they like I have the same family name as like all my neighborhood there, but we're like some of us are related, some of us are not. We don't call ourselves with our family name. We call ourselves by the name of our great grandfather, like my like 2 generations ago. So like that's the family name. So my family is like it's not Haddad, it's Nadim Elias, you know. So that's like the family name, you know. Some other is like Daher, or you know, but they're all Haddad, like in our neighborhood. So there's the leader of each of those families. Our family is not like we have so much problems. There's no leaders, like and we're most of our families like live in Beirut and like went to college and stuff. Like all the other ones they live there, like in village, and you know, like my family is the bad one, the evil.
but you got goats though.
But we have like a like glory to God, like my father and my grandfather, like they're very like manly man, very true man that know what is valuable, that know that money is not like the most valuable thing. Like glory to God that like they try to help as much as they can, like our village, like my great uncles built the first church in our village. So that's an Orthodox church. Uh, my grandfather, he donated the grounds for the burials. Like they used to go like miles away to bury their people. My grandfather gave his land to the church so they can bury their people there. Like glory to God for my grandfather and my father also, like he donated like a solar panel system that gives free water to the village. So like if God willing, I can be like as humble as them, but like I need time. Like I'm still a filthy sinner that's super not humble as as them. So like even though they didn't make me grow up Orthodox and didn't like fully catechize me in the church, and maybe they believe some heretical stuff, but like I cannot I cannot not be grateful.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you, Nadim, for your whole family history. Like it was the
Yeah,
whole family history for
Right.
real.
Yeah, you got a lot of goats, dude. You don't got to rub it in, man. I don't
You
got
got a
anything.
lot of notes.
I got chickens, and I'm working on the goats, man.
cut me off when I talk too much, please. Like, I
He's
need
just
to learn.
Lebanese. That's it. He's just Lebanese.
I need to learn.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It was funny. It was funny, but next time I'm gonna mute you, man.
No worries, no worries. No worries. I would love to. Like, so I learn.
I love you, Nadim. So no, for real, thank you for sharing your history. It could have been a little bit shorter. You can skip some of the years.
I'm not a native English speaker. I don't know.
You need to like learn how to like generalize.
Yeah.
Maybe just like maybe just read some like children's books. That might be a good place to start.
Yes,
Dr. Seuss
summarize
pretty
a
good.
little bit. Yeah. Brevity.
Cut me off, guys. You have to. You have to
Yeah.
cut me off.
Brevity is the soul of wit, Nadim. So
Yeah. So no, for real, it's super interesting that we naturally let's say we naturally drifted into talking about clans and about politics and about, let's say, the way in which the family, let's say, plays into the economy, and how, let's say, how, in a sense, our personal relationships are worth more than money. And I was thinking today about something that sometimes my pride, my vainglory makes me, let's say, invent political speeches because I invent a situation in my head. Perhaps I shouldn't fantasize about this, but when I think about politics, sometimes I think about what a politician should say to a certain group of people, let's say, or to give a rousing speech and such. And I was thinking, let's say you had to convince people that, for example, you need, let's say, something akin to guilds. Now we have workers' unions, but workers' unions don't protect, let's say, the artistry. They don't protect the quality of the work. They simply want to add more people, and if this degrades the productivity, if this degrades the quality of the work, it doesn't matter, because it's just politics for them. They're just trying to get numbers. They're trying to get money. So, for example, you might get, like, for example, in Argentina, a transport, let's say, union leader who wants the country to run on, let's say, the most inefficient ways of transport, like trucks, because truckers are more numerous than other kinds of, let's say, like trucks need more employees, and truckers are very easily marshaled into strong unions. So instead of having, I don't know, for example, navigable rivers, trains, all of those things in Argentina, is very hard to get those kinds of things. And I was thinking, how do I convince the people that we need guilds nowadays to protect, I don't know, the quality of craftsmanship, and that we can have leaders of such guilds that care for something more, that care for something like Christianity, if I cannot convince them that, let's say, something beyond the here and now is worth it. Like, if I cannot convince them that the money that they get from having, let's say, a stronger union is actually worse than, for example, having their children look at them with respect and with admiration. I think we've traded, let's say, the pride, the good pride of doing a good work, of rendering a good service, a good quality service, in the name of, I want to get mine. I want to get a little bit more. And if even, and I think that even if you gave it, let's say, a numerical value, you wouldn't be earning that much more if you had, let's say, a really cutthroat workers union. I think you'd be earning a little bit more, sure, but now you're just an individual, like trying to get their own, and your kid will probably not like you. Like there will be nothing that you're actually um. Nadim, is that you? The sound?
Oh yeah,
You're
it's
having?
raining. Sorry.
Okay, no
Actually, I
problem.
gotta get going, you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Sorry for the unexpected jump
No,
off,
no, no,
but
it's fine. No, go ahead, go ahead.
we'll talk again sometime. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get Jimbo to raid. I sent it to Rip, and he's gonna
Oh, that would
link
be
it.
fantastic. That would be
Yeah,
fantastic. Thank you, Nadim. So
so you
so
can grow at least a bit. Like
it would be it would be really good. But to finish my point, like there has to be, let's say, a way we organize and that we sell our political vision through a Christian lens to people who are merely workers by convincing them, like, dude, it's better for you to earn a little bit less money, but have like the respect of your children, have the respect of your wife, have the respect of your community, because you're actually working towards something greater than yourself. So, and that would be a really huge change of mentality. But I see us in the West super, let's say, disintegrated. There's socialists, there's libertarians, there's fascists, there's classical liberals, there's progressives. It's kind of maddening, and the only solution is Christ. So if we're thinking about, let's say, implementing something politically, what we need to do is to sell the gospel properly. We need to be able to communicate the truth of Christ and understand that it's not something that comes without a cost. Like, you will probably earn less money with Christ. That's we have to be honest about it. But the money that you do have will go further. Your relationships will be better. So why did you want the money in the first place? I would like, that's something that uh I think goes um, with the topic that we were trying to discuss here about, let's say, our personal relationships, money, security, our interests, defending our interests, political influence of orthodoxy, how to defend orthodoxy. And if it were up to me, I would definitely I would definitely support an Orthodox Christian politician, but we're not there yet. We haven't even started, uh, let's say, evangelizing in the West. That's my perspective. I don't know, Nadim, if you have a different perspective.
Yeah, I think Father Seraphim Rose talks about it. He says, um, I think someone asked him, like, isn't the gospel, uh, hasn't it been evangelized throughout the world? Because like there's this prophecy in the New Testament that um, as soon as it's going to be evangelized around the world, then uh, the reign of Christ has started, or his comeback, his physical uh, return. That's a very like evangelical kind of mindset. Um, but he says no, it hasn't been even a little. Like it's super. Um, like we're still on the starting levels of evangelizing, because the moment the whole world is evangelized is the moment orthodoxy is evangelized throughout the world. So no, if if they have the Bible as a book, um, probably that they have the Masoretic translation or etc. That's not uh, the church having fulfilled its evangelical duty. It hasn't yet. Like we're still far from the world being evangelized. So yeah, I agree completely.
Okay. Here, Caravaggio says, I'm not an expert on financial markets, but it seems to me usury is the thing creating poverty. Even from the secular position, Christianity may solve the dire economic situation we face. I don't know. It could be. I definitely think that nobody in the political sphere is ever even daring to let's say remove usury. And I would say I would go so far as to say that not even Muslims who have this like parallel financial system that is supposedly avoids usury truly does. Um, I think it's a super
Oh,
difficult problem, but I do think we should start talking about it. And I
you have
see,
to see in Muslims countries. Oof. And the like in Saudi Arabia, you think usury isn't present? Come on, are you blind? Like you have to see how much people. For example, I'm not. I don't know if it falls into this category, but like how much they smoke, how much they drink alcohol, and how much they gamble, and how much they use interest. Actually, they actually gain interest, but they do it in this like kind of tiptoeing over the Islamic rules because they do it in like the pious way, you know. So
mm,
so no, the only way that usury is solved is by a Christian guided kind of market.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I want to answer to this. I'm sorry, Nadim. I know that Trump said that he wanted, let's say, to put a temporary ban on high interest rates, a temporary ban. Um, I'm not sure if he means it, but I don't think it's permanent. So it's not even the
He
same.
definitely said that he said it plain, like plain. He said, "I want to ban taxes on overtime, for example." And if that's just rhetoric, then that's just rhetoric. But it's still better than the other choice. But to having like this as an option would like help the economy a lot because people would start going into overtime. People would um, have like a higher, a lower tax dependent kind of way of living. So like I don't know what's wrong with that. Even just saying it is not a wrong is not as wrong because like there's not like such a better option, you know.
Mm.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I wanted to explore. Let's see. To be clear, I'm not envisioning a political solution to usury. You have a society with Christian values. People lend to each other historically. Yes, I completely agree. Also, I think we need to change the way we think about the economy in general, because economics is, let's say, a discipline that has a lot of presuppositions, like for example markets. And the idea behind a market is that you have a desire, and that desire is what creates a market, right? It's because the market is supposed to be an aggregate of all of our desires. But the problem with that is that any society has a political structure. That political structure constrains uh, those desires and must constrain those desires. And from an Orthodox perspective, um, let's say even your own soul needs to be constrained, and you need to be vigilant about your own soul. So the very idea of markets as such is kind of like an abstraction that doesn't the that is helpful, let's say, to when you're thinking about maximizing utility. But you see how you're already entering into these like utilitarian let's say frames of mind, which try to reduce the human spirit, the human soul, to a rational machine. And not only that, it also has like the liberal presupposition that let's say all of your desires are equally valid, let's say, because the idea of a market does not, let's say, in itself um, speak to the fact that it is always a state which determines the existence of a market. Without a state guaranteeing, let's say, the security of property, there is no merchandising to be sold or exchanged. Like if you don't have a standing army to protect trade, there is no trade going on. So in that sense, markets are what governments decide. And when we're talking about the economy, like we're already talking about an economy based on ideology and spiritual values that are inherently intertwined with let's say philosophical let's say commitments. Like for example, our current economies in the West depend on the interest rates. The interest rates, like inflation, those kinds of things, in a real economy don't exist. Like the value of money can change, but the idea that you can simply print fiat money, that's really a novel concept. And the idea of interest rates, the idea of let's say charging an interest for a loan, those kinds of things, they're super difficult to tackle. Yes. Yeah, no, we can do our own parallel system, but right now I want to go into another direction. Like we spoke, I don't know, Nadim, did you catch the our like the start of the stream?
Not really. Like the moment I typed was the moment I joined. I think I was like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. I the moment you talked, you said Bojan, and then
Oh, so yeah, you were
you
you were
said
super.
Bojan. Then after you talked about Thaddeus when I came.
Yeah, no,
So
fair enough. Like you were almost there from the start. So I wanted to talk about this girl. She's one of these people that I would consider, let's say, one of the, let's say, trad grifters. I don't want to be too mean or too, like, I haven't consumed much of her content. I don't know if I think I saw
I
one.
definitely saw her like a year ago or something. Like she would pop up a lot, but
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I wanted to criticize something that I see with all these women trying to be influencers. Like, first of all, let's look at this. Let's look at the business inquiries, Instagrams, like join my Patreon for a book club, video hangouts, exclusive content, sneak peek.
What? John, my patriarch? What?
My Patreon, my
Ah,
Patreon. So
oh, okay. I feel okay. I'm okay. I'm
So
not
yeah,
listening.
super Christ-centered, but you're trying to be an e-celeb, quite successful, I must say. 175 subscribers. Like, what's up with these people who are trying to like make a product, sell it, and like become an authority? Like, you might say you're Orthodox, but I don't see it. I don't see like I've heard some of her takes and they're really bad. And I don't know. I'm concerned that we have too many people giving their opinions on too many things, and everybody's trying to get, let's say, it's trying to get like a cut of a market, and they want to be like these like perfect examples of orthodoxy, or they're using orthodoxy in this sense. Like this girl seems to be like the same phenomenon as the tried wife. the trad wife kind of thing. Have you seen it, Nadim?
The Catholic wife that like posts her, or is it like the meme or what? What?
No. It's yes. It's this influencer that like she pretends to be a trad girl, but in reality she does it because she wants the attention and the money. And
Yeah,
what
it's the same. It's like the same phenomena of like the trad trans. you know
what?
the, you know the yeah. There's like a trans. There's a guy that like is a woman. Like there's a woman that's a guy, and he's like for guns, and he's like with boobs and stuff, and he's like Trump is based, and like Christianity is like you need to have Christian morals and stuff like that. But lo and behold, it's a trans guy.
You need to find that video and share it, man. You need to find that video.
I
And
don't
share
know.
it.
I don't know her name, but hopefully,
Anyway,
if we get raided, the people from the raid are gonna know definitely. Like, so famous. Like, like shorts. They do shorts a lot. Like, I saw shorts from this girl.
but is it a comedy or is it kind of
No,
or
it's fully
serious? Yeah.
serious. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Well, I don't know why people are trying to like advertise their Orthodox life. Like, it kind of feels like, and I see those people in Twitter. Like, it feels like some sort of like piety signaling. Like, why do you film yourself? Um, like venerating a relic, and then you post it, and like okay, of course it might get some people. Like I saw this, so like it's good short content and some stuff like maybe some people are doing it like in good intent, like and I have no problem with that, but like it kind of feels somewhat like piety signaling,
Yeah. Or
look
there's
at me, like I'm praying, or like look, I just did like the activist, or like they filmed themselves uh, um, like praying or something. Like I don't mind that. I would encourage people filming or taking pictures of themselves next to icons, next to churches. Like that's like super based. Like I would say it's based, but like you're praying, or like you tell people that you just finish a prayer, or like I'm going to church right now, or like what's the point? Like what's I don't know. I
yes,
just like
I
I find it weird. Like JD
yes,
Vance. I find JD Vance weird.
like what I think it's this, man. I think it's this meme in a sense. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
like like the girls always taking the pictures of themselves. Like, I want to show you something, and they take a picture of themselves, you know, because
Yeah,
they're watching.
with the thing. Yeah. Look at that. Look at
Yes,
that behind me.
yes, yes, yes. Which is like, yeah, you're not being serious. Like, and to be honest, I think that's a lot of the problems. And I mentioned at some point like this Thaddeus guy, because the problem with guys like this is like they give a bad rep to the, like, people are complaining that new converts give a bad reputation to Orthodox Christianity. Yeah, no, that's not the deal. That's not what's happening. What's happening is that people like this guy who have really heretical takes, um, like they garner, like, look at this, 16K followers, um, and he sells himself as a coach therapist, and
Sorry, I'm not like this. Can you show me again? Sorry, Jim Bob rated Jay Dyer as if he needs people to.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So,
I'm joking. Okay, but it would be nice
anyway,
to support Ivan. Anyway,
uh,
so show me again.
okay, I'm gonna show you again. But anyway, there's this guy, Thaddeus Patrick, who
Yeah,
styles
we talked about.
yeah, who styles himself as a as a coach slash therapist. If you're an
I
Orthodox
didn't see
person,
that. I think I follow him, but I never really. I just follow him, so my algorithm shows me more Orthodox stuff because like he pops up so much. But like I never really saw his posts. Like I see some icons and stuff, so I'm like, okay, sure. But
yeah,
I never saw what he actually posts.
yeah, and this guy, I've seen pictures of him dressed as a woman, right, and with makeup, and like perhaps they're
What?
old pictures. Yes, yes,
Where?
perhaps.
Okay, can you find it?
Ah, man, you're making me work. You're making me work.
Yeah, but like that's a big statement. I need to see that.
Okay, okay.
An Orthodox Christian coach and
Yes,
like, have you heard of a spiritual father? Like,
yes, exactly, exactly.
are you
Anyway,
claiming to be a self-professed um, spiritual father? Is that what you're doing, or
exactly. They want to charge people to be their spiritual fathers, and I'm like,
what? It's you charge people?
yes, of course. He wants to be that's what a coach and what a therapist do.
He's a life coach.
Yes,
That's
he wants.
that's hilarious.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's these people, like, not only do they want to, let's say, take the position of a spiritual father and earn money from that, but they're not fit to do it. They're not fit to do it, and it's the
I
same
mean,
thing.
who gave you the power to like? Have you done like a 4 year theology class, or have you been to seminary? Like, did you have a blessing? Are you a reader? Are you what a deacon? Or like, is it what?
No, no, and if
Or
I
are you
had
just
regrets,
conversation like we're doing? Like we're just conversation. Like we're not even telling people what to do. We're not even. We're just giving our opinion. Like. But to claim that you know better than people, or like, what?
yeah. So
How is that orthodox?
yeah, and it's not that I'm against therapists or that I'm against, let's say, spiritual fathers not being priests. None of that is my concern. My concern is there are lots of people that, for example, studied psychology and were secular at the time, and they don't want to let go of their huge investment because they spent all these years and all this money in their education, and they become Orthodox, and now they want to be the Orthodox therapist, right? The Orthodox guy. And yeah, my guy, that's not what you're meant to do. That's not the proper way to go about it, especially if you have heretical views, like this guy does. And
But
it's
what's those the heretical views? Like,
he's a universalist, I think. I remember, like, and I
so
remember
like
him.
that everyone. So he believes in that everyone is saved,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. If I recall correctly, yes. So,
I need to see that picture of him as a woman.
dude, I didn't find it. I'm not gonna be able to find it, and we're live, man. Perhaps somebody can help me find it, but
Okay, let me look.
okay, okay, you can look it up.
You
So
continue talking.
anyway, so my issue is that, let's say, priests are not vigilant of what their flock are doing online, and they're not even, let's say, aware of what other priests are doing and saying. So we're left in a super um, nebulous situation where we're supposed to like pick sides, like oh, Father Peter hears this or Bojan that, or I think all of this is a distraction. Some things are more important than others. And what I wanted to say back when we started the stream, and you were going back and forth with Mr. Westford about, let's say, trying to take these people charitably, uh, and the question of pews came up. The thing is, not everything is equally important. Like sacraments, they're sacred. That's why they're called sacraments. They're sacred. So we don't mess around with the sacred. And that's the reason why there's a lot of, let's say, controversy around Father Peter Hears, because he's talking about sacramentology, right? But not everything is equally, let's say, if not everything is equally important, then there are things we must ignore. Like, for example, I really disagreed with a lot of things that Jay Dyer's wife said regarding there's this conversation she had with FDA, and there's another conversation she's had with our with Orthodox family life. And in here, Jamie said things that I thought were crypto feminists. She said that a man in his 30s shouldn't date a girl in his 20s because she would eventually resent him.
Who is that?
Jamie Dyer, Jamie Hanshaw. She goes by her
And when
maiden
when
name,
when did she do that?
like in the two conversations that I just shared. So she said that two things that I had issues with. One was that men shouldn't date younger women, and I can kind of see a point there in the sense that there's a, let's say, there's a canon of the church that forbids marriages with more than 10 years, I think, more than 10 years difference, but canons are applied by bishops, so they're not absolute. That's something that we must understand. There has been a lot of activity that, let's say, there's been lots of marriages in history that didn't follow this canon. One notably, the marriage between the Mother of God, the Theotokos,
Yeah,
and
and
Saint
Saint
Joseph,
Joseph.
the spouse. So to say that to give a reasoning like women will resent older men because they somehow these older men took advantage of them because they were
Or
too stupid.
they burdened they maybe she's thinking that they burdened their youth maybe, and they kind of made them mature faster, and they couldn't live their youth. Maybe that's
Yeah, but that's idiotic. That's like, and she said another point which I thought was pretty feminist. She said that women need work experience, and at the time she said, because what if your husband like loses his job and you need to contribute, who's going to hire you then? And I thought that was ridiculous, because if you had like a job when you were 18 and then you spent the rest of your life as a mother, like for, I don't know, 15 years, it's as if you didn't have a job ever. It's That's ridiculous. But
I don't know if someone that doesn't like I have no problem with women that had like previous knowledge about like occultism and feminism and everything like this history. I don't mind them speaking about it. Like it's not work. I don't think there's anything wrong about it. But uh, if you don't have kids, like why are you telling people what they should do like for surrounding kids? Like like I trust um like that there is good faith and like you actually can't have kids and like all my prayers go to you, like if God wills it, like he will make it possible, even if we think like in worldly terms it's not gonna happen. But like don't like sometimes we have to learn not to talk like there's limits to the stuff you can talk about, especially as laity. Like there's limits to what we can talk about, and especially as women, like they're they're stop like sometimes it's better to be quiet, like, and not talk about some issues. And
exactly.
like, that's very good. Like what's wrong in not giving, like sometimes you can have uh, topics that you have no view on, like what's the problem with that?
Yeah, well, the problem is that it doesn't make money, because if you look at the history of this girl, she spent her youth, this woman, I should say, she spent her youth being a witch, to the point that she eventually became infertile, because she spent all her youth doing that. And now she wants to tell women how to have a family, and men and women, she's trying to teach men and women how to relate to one another. And I think it's kind of out of place, because she did not live that. She's saying, oh, well, she could say, well, you could learn from my mistakes. It's like, no, no, no. If you've made those mistakes, say, don't make the mistakes I made, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't try to teach.
and
Don't try to
and
teach.
that makes me like point to the saints, like they're just read the life of Saint Mary of Egypt, read the life of Saint Mary Magdalene, how is it in English?
Magdalene.
Magdalene, like those women, and even there's saints, like you read the life of Saint Moses the Black, like look how pious their lives were after they found the truth, and how much they respected, how they interacted with the people that had the same sins. They never like became like higher, like they never like thought of themselves as better. In the contrary, they thought of themselves as like even worse sinner, like it's I think that
Yeah,
it's better to take advice from saints. That's
of
I
course.
can say like very easily. Like, take
Of course.
advice from a saint. It's better.
So the other thing I had an issue with was fundamentally that she said something along the lines of, um, basically, like, she gave two reasons why women should have work experience. One was because she, like, and this was like, to me, a false reason. I already mentioned this, because she needs to be able to get another job. And the other one was, and she said it in uh in one of the let's say, in one of the conversations, that if she doesn't have the possibility of earning money, then that creates a very skewed power dynamic, and that's not in the benefit of the woman. And I was thinking, yes, that's exactly the kind of reasoning a feminist gives. Like, that's literally what feminism says. It's like, you need to get your own job and your own money, because what if your husband is a bad man? And to that, I say, you're thinking about it like an individualist. I'm sorry, you're wrong. You're wrong. Does that woman
How
not?
old are those?
Don't interrupt me here, Nadim. Let me
Sorry,
finish.
sorry.
In If you have a family, if you have a father, do you think that your father is going to let your husband treat you like crap? No, that's never going to happen. So all of these problems are being sifted through the lens of individualism, and orthodoxy is not individualistic. So why are you giving me solutions to the problems of individualism with more individualism baked into the solution? Like, if you need to have a job because your husband is a tyrant, you're basically giving let's say the same argument that a person that's in favor of a prenup is giving. It's like, oh no, you need a prenup because the other person might divorce you with no reason. And to that I say, well, you're not really marrying the other person then, are you? Because
And
you're
why would
already.
you marry someone? Why would you marry someone that there's even the slightest um, thought of like what of divorce? Like what? Like that's two extremes. Like marrying divorce is like the two extremes. Like why would you even marry someone that you could divorce? Like
Yeah, so you're really not marrying. It's just like a civil contract.
yeah.
Now,
How old are those views? Like
there's
are
a
they pretty
reason.
recent? Oh,
They're
okay.
recent. Yeah,
Good.
they're really recent. Like the last video has 1 day.
Ah,
Like,
okay.
yeah. So the reason I mentioned this is not to go after Jamie Hanshaw, who should go by Jamie Dyer, and who should probably like try to help her husband more instead of like being part of the gig. Uh, because honestly, she was one trick pony and not very interesting at that. It's like, okay, you spent your life doing witchcraft, and what? Like, now you think that because you're a woman you can speak to women, and that you're an example of this and that. Like, you were doing this before you became Orthodox. Like, you were trying to sell books before you became Orthodox. You were trying to teach and to become a public person before you were Orthodox. And now that you become Orthodox, you haven't changed. The only thing that's changed is basically the dogma that you're selling. Like, you're trying to adjust your selling product to the ideology of Orthodoxy, but fundamentally you're like the girl who like is taking pictures of herself, making videos of herself with all her makeup on, and speaking about femininity and how they found orthodoxy, except like they're just a product, they're just merchandising. And you may want to rationalize all of this by saying, well, but now I'm using I'm using my platform to defend orthodoxy. I'm using my platform to spread orthodoxy, so I'm actually helping orthodoxy. And I say, well, the best thing you can do to spread orthodoxy perhaps is to become a saint, and to actually live an orthodox life. So all I see, and the reason why I titled Orthodox and Orthodox Violence, I titled
Yeah,
this
but
video.
we don't know her. We don't know her life. Like we don't know what's like exactly what's going on through her mind. Like I don't know what she does. Like how she prays at night. Like that's like I cannot judge on that. But like definitely there is some points like we can criticize. But like I don't know. Like I don't know how she repents. Like and like I would never claim to say like to that I can be able to know if she repented truly or not. Like, but like you can still criticize what she's doing, of course. Like if she's doing something like that's obviously, if she's saying something that's obviously heretical or something that's um, against the church, that this you can criticize. But I don't know. Uh, I don't know what she does. In her personal life. I like the only thing
Well,
that I
but
know is
that's not what we're talking about. Now, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
yeah,
about
but
the public.
yeah, no, but you're saying like you haven't changed or like, but I don't know like how much she's changed or not. Like,
Because I can see that if you're still doing the same thing, which is trying to sell your product to become this person, it's like the only thing that's changed there is let's say the reason you're giving for your spiel. Let's put it this way. Whenever you speak, let's be super simple. Whenever you speak publicly, you are teaching. That's it. There's no avoiding that. There's no avoiding the fact that if you speak publicly, you are teaching. You're teaching. That's what you're doing. So what's up with
but
all
if
these?
I'm asking questions publicly, am I teaching?
You're giving yeah, you're
Because
teaching in a form.
I'm giving the opportunity to teach, but I'm not directly teaching. I'm trying to
Depending on the question,
we
depending
talk.
on the question, because if you let's say for example, if you're like for example in the Trump debates, Trump was asked lots of questions that were loaded. For example, the one of
Yeah,
the
I'm talking about specific like specific questions about like if you're asking someone like genuinely like you don't know the answer, not as in like it's a rhetorical question, like you know the answer and you just want the other person to fall into the
well,
trap.
but well, but the issue there is why are you asking it publicly? Can't you ask it privately?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So like here Caravaggio is asking a question in chat. Is he teaching or
Well, he is giving his opinion.
yeah,
Yeah.
there is giving your opinion and there's teaching, but it depends on like how you see it. Like if you're trying to teach or if you're just trying to give your opinion.
No, I think that's kind of a like a more Protestant way of looking at things. There's a performative aspect of what we do. Let's say so. Whenever you go
I'm
in
saying
public,
specifically in what I'm doing. Like me, like I go on panels, I do some streams sometimes. So,
well, but you're
but
putting
sometimes I am teaching. I am teaching in some way. I can agree with that. Yes, but like in some occasions, I'm just like hanging out with some people. You know, like genuinely, like I'm not doing anything. I'm not I'm not
well,
giving anything out. Like
well,
I'm
but
just sitting
yeah,
there,
I
like
understand
listening
what
to
you mean.
music. That's
I
not
understand
teaching, for
what you
example.
mean. But you're also by virtue of being there, you are teaching something. For example, you're giving the example of something. So this idea that let's say, and I don't say it to be a purist or to be a rationalist. I'm trying to avoid that those kinds of things. But to be honest, uh, it's not that women need to be silent. It's that women need to know when to speak. And we live in a society that doesn't know fundamentally, like Western society doesn't know when to shut up because everybody believes that they're in the right to walk up to anybody and demand the other person reply to them to what they want to be replied. So that's how you get like a journalist asking loaded questions to a politician. Because fundamentally, since we're children, we're being told that asking a question is not a performative thing. We stay on the realm of the propositional, as if questions were just simply naive things, but they're never naive things. And that's a different way of viewing life, which is, I think, more in line with orthodoxy than with, let's say, Protestant emphasis on propositions. Because Protestants, they want to stay on the propositional level, but what's important is the performative aspect, not the propositional. Because if I go, let's say you have a wife, and I go on and ask you, could you please give me your wife? I would like to get her. Like, she's a very pretty woman. Would you give her to me? That's not a naive question.
That's not like, it's not even a question. That's like an insult. It's like a
Yeah.
direct insult. It's not a question.
Yeah.
Like,
So in that sense, if we presuppose that there's a standard, and you can make the argument, well, what if that person doesn't know the standard? What if they really want it?
I wouldn't make that argument.
No, I know, but I'm doing the devil's advocate, because
Okay.
some people think that if it's an authentic question, then somehow it is justified. It's like, oh no, look at what that child did. They don't know any better. It's like, do you think children don't have spiritual lives? Do you think children don't, let's say, participate with spirits? Like, they're dead. Are they dead? Are they not human? No. There's children clearly do have spiritual lives. So this Western conception of, let's say, making exceptions to what we define as authentic, and say, well, you're entitled to those things. No. There's a standard that precedes all of these things, even if you don't know the standard. Now, could that standard be lowered a little bit if you didn't know the standard? Sure. But that's mercy that cannot be demanded. If you are demanding that the standard be lowered for you, then you're already in the wrong, man. So
Yeah.
That's what I mean when you say.
Completely agree. And on that topic of children, I never really talked about this. It's like a super nice topic about like the spirituality of children. Like, I can remember, like, I still have some vivid memories of like my spiritual life being way more active before as a child than like now. Like, not, but I didn't know where it came from, but like I can definitely like do you know what? Do you know why children have so many nightmares at night? Because like the evil one is attacking them at a young age. Because when you're young, your soul is more open to Christ. Like, we have to be like children, you know. So like I can remember, like, I had some like super hard nightmares when I was a kid. Like, and like some repetitive ones. And the more I would ask questions, the more I would, like, real questions like that, about life. Like my mom always tells me, like, I was like 5 years old, and she was like showering me, and I asked her what happens after death. And I was like 5 years old, and like, I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't remember how my mind was working at the time, but like, that's something spiritual. That's it's working as like, and like, it's nice that you opened this topic. I never really talked about like the spirituality of children, so it's a super nice topic.
Yeah, well, we can like do a deeper dive in another
Yeah, of course.
live stream. So to answer, yeah, Caravaggio raised this point. This is my problem with the internet in general: blurred lines between private and public dynamics. Yes, definitely, and it takes a lot of discernment to know how to navigate them. And my issue is, lots of people, let's say, I wouldn't say I'm perfectly Orthodox, not at all, not in the least. I'm striving to become one. But like, the problem is, we come into Orthodoxy with our Western mindset and expect Orthodoxy to then conform to our Western mindset, and we're basically trying to disfigure Orthodoxy that way. And in that sense, we use any exception to disprove the rule. So if let's say if a priest's wife is a doctor, then we think, oh well, see, it's legitimate that women have jobs, right? And to that, I would say
Shut up,
yes.
woman.
No, I say yes and no. Like, um, for example, uh, let's put it this way: what's our duty as Christians? What's our duty? We need to seek first the kingdom of God, and in that search, do we let's say live life? Do we have children? Do we work? Yes, we do all those things, but always looking towards the kingdom, right? So
I mean,
in
what's our goal to work? Like, why are we working for it? To build, like, what's the point of working if you don't have children, if you don't plan on having children or getting married? Like, you're working to get some support for the family. That's the only mindset I have when I want to work. Like, why would I work if I don't want a family? Like, what's the point of working? I'll just be a monastic. Like, I just go and in a monastery, and that's it. Like, you don't need to work if you don't have a family. No reason at all. Just go to a monastery.
Yeah, so in that sense, to follow that line of logic, um if you want to have a family, why are you giving your best years to study medicine for 10 years unless you're already married and your husband is, let's say, supporting you while you're doing that? But in exchange of for what? Like, are you going to work and at the same time raise your children? And like, who's going to raise your children really? Are you depending on other people to raise your children? All of these things, they're modernists. They're more. All of these people saying these things are modernists because there is no reason why a woman should work unless absolutely necessary because their husband is not providing enough. And you know what? Poverty is not the end of the world. You can do a lot even if you're poor. So what angered me about what Jamie was saying was that ultimately it presupposed that women should have careers, which means having less children, when the way I look at things is it's better that we have more Orthodox Christians rather than, let's say, more wives beating
Money.
doctors. So anyway,
I mean,
those were my thoughts. It's like, why are you so hell bent on, let's say, um, striving to give more security or fake security uh, to insecure, unorthodox women when nobody has security in the world? You can die tomorrow. God does not give you the knowledge of tomorrow. You only have your daily bread. And in that sense, this idea that money is enough, that intelligence, good looks, education, all of that is vanity. All of that is vanity. Is it good to have? Yes. But the essential is the Holy Spirit. The essential is piety. So if you think that let's say if you think that it's necessary for a woman to marry a rich person or to have a job or to have a career or to have whatever, you're already speaking from an unorthodox perspective. What you need is orthodoxy. It's as simple as that. You need orthodoxy. You need two people who are Orthodox of different genders, right? That's all you really, in terms of the essentials, that's all you really need. If God blesses you with children, good. That would be good. But if you're gonna say that women need careers and this and that, they're never going to have children because
Not even man. Man, no one needs anything other than Christ. If you go like down to the like nitwit, but like I can say like as a like a small devil's advocate, but I don't think you will disagree. Like it's not a problem that women have like jobs before getting married or like during while they're married, but the moment there's children, they're the priority. The woman has to put the at her first priority for the children. Like leave your job and like be a mother. That's you don't need more money. Like,
well, but
again,
why would you leave a job if you spent the last 4 years studying to be able to do that job?
because your children are more important than a materialistic perspective. It's better for your children to be raised in the church,
No,
to be fed, to be educated in
no,
the right.
you don't understand, Nadim. You don't understand. There's if you look at life, you can say this is a sunken cost fallacy. It's fair. It could be a sunken cost fallacy. And though I agree with the spiritual principle that you're expressing, I disagree with let's say the practicality of it. Because if a woman studies 4 years and pays, let's take the example of a North American university. Let's say that she spends $400,000 in her education. She meets the man of her life. She marries. Children ensue. Do you think she's gonna say, "Okay, I'm gonna just like throw away this investment that I made, like these last 4 years and $500,000, uh, and I'm not gonna exercise my career"? And if you think about it a little bit more, you can do a meta analysis of the situation and say, why the hell did you spend that money and that time if you were going to get married anyway? Like, if what
Yeah,
you're
but
saying,
I didn't mean as like this kind of route. I meant as like small jobs or like something that would just keep you like living before being married. Like that's I'm not talking about like educated women. No, like that would be useless to lose all your money in your university if you already knew. If they didn't know and they weren't even in the church and they uh, and they found the church with their husband and everything. Like there's a lot of situations, but I think
why
the narrative, you're correct in
why
what you're saying.
why does an unmarried woman need to work if she is taken care of by her family? Now,
If she's not in an Orthodox family and they're not taking care of her, like she's
but that's a different situation. Why are
no, no,
we?
as like the convert. Like I'm looking at it as like the people in the U.S. and everything. Like that's I'm not the
Yes,
and the country. I would say like no, like a woman should stay with her family until she's married. Like why would you lose your time?
exactly. Exactly. That's my point. That was what I was trying to get to.
No,
It's
that's
like,
the Orthodox
let me
culture. That's
let me
culture.
yes, let me get to that. If you want an Orthodox culture, you need to start with an understanding of what an Orthodox culture is and speak about an Orthodox culture. That you cannot give advice thinking that you have to lower the ideal because already the other person cannot even listen or hear what the ideal is. My problem is people like Jamie here don't know the ideal. And since they don't know the ideal, they spout these these words of teaching, these teachings, these words of advice, as if we were individuals in an individualistic society. And you could say, well, but the West is an individualistic society and the West needs to convert. Yes, but people need to be taught what sanity looks like. They need to be taught who Christ is first. You need to give them Christ. And if you don't tell them, look, an Orthodox family is involved in the marriages of their daughters, if you don't say this, then it's no wonder that converts cannot find wives. Why? Because the cradles aren't Orthodox in the first place. The cradles, if you, let's say you meet a really good looking cradle girl, will you ask for her father's blessing? Or is it merely, let's say you're both in love, will you ask for her father's blessing? Probably
Of
not,
course.
because, well, yes, I mean, you will, but I mean, what happened that you fell in love with the other person without her father knowing about you? Parents used to be involved in those kinds of things. Women used to have to ask their parents for permission. So the idea that we're just individuals and, oh, I met this girl at church and this and that, as if parents didn't exist. This is a paradigm that is already broken in itself. So if we don't start speaking about what the right way to approach these things is, then we're doomed. We're doomed,
Yeah, and
because
that's the way, like does it's a full circle. That's a way that the cradle countries should come into example for the converts, because like at least until our generation, like it's changing now. Like Lord have mercy on us, but the like it was at least half of the generation of my parents were like you're describing, like the Orthodox way. Like my father couldn't meet with my mother without her father knowing. Like it's like they would he came to my grandfather and begged him to be able just to like go out for a meal or something, and like because he comes from a good family and everything, he said like, you're gonna marry her, like there's no way you you go out with my daughter if you're not gonna marry her. Like what's like that's the Orthodox thinking. Maybe he wasn't Orthodox, maybe it's like
yeah,
but that's how that they took it from Orthodoxy. That's the Orthodox way. Like that's the ideal. That's what you should preach. That's you shouldn't try to fit in and then infiltrate Orthodoxy to the life. No, you show the ideal, and you try to get people into this ideal. Like you should, like you should do this with your children. If you couldn't have lived that, do that to your children. Like raise them in that way.
yeah.
No, and
So
I completely agree with what you said. We're kind of like not on the same page, but like we're actually like it was just like words. Like we weren't understanding each other, but I completely agree with what you said.
now, I will complicate things further, and then we can finish the stream, which is like, the idea that women, or that, let's say in the best case scenario, a father of a woman, um, wants, let's say, her candidate to be well off financially, or at least able to support a family. I don't think it's completely unreasonable. And it's not, oh, you're so vain. Like, I can understand a father wanting her daughter to be at least, let's say, not comfortable, but at least living
In
let's
the
say,
house,
yes,
or
yes, living in humane conditions, right? And
yeah,
if society were to be functioning, any man who was exercising any trade, let's say any kind of job, any man who was, let's say, healthy, any good Christian who was able to work would be able to provide, let's say. Now, the problem is that we're so comfortable. We're so used to comfort. We're so used to material well-being that we're babying these women because, oh, you want a certain lifestyle and this and that and this and that, and it's just more attempts at gaining certainty, at more attempts at being comfortable, which are not actually the cross. Like, that's really not the cross. That's the opposite. So when a person tells let's say recent converts, oh, you need to work on yourself, and this, it's good, like, it's true. Men need to work on themselves fundamentally, spiritually, financially. That's very good. It's very important. Now, what I would end with is, when are these women who seek, let's say, security, going to get married? If they're going to have a career, a job, if they need their spouse to be well off financially, and if they can't have an age gap, let's say, because men.
And the percentage
Let
comes
me
super
finish.
low.
Let me finish this, Nadim. So, when are men financially stable? Like, it takes years for a man to be financially stable. So basically, and this was what made me, let's say, angry about what she was teaching, was, you're telling me that a 30-year-old man has to marry a 30-year-old woman because age differences are bad and she needs to be financially secure, right? So when are you having children exactly? That basically means you cut off all of the reproductive, let's say, years of the woman, and at best, you can have 2, 3, 4 children if you're lucky. So at at best case scenario. So you're telling me basically that women should have to start to raise children after they're almost 30, because there cannot be age gaps, right? So because if a man that is 30 decides to marry a girl that is, I don't know, 21, that is suspect. That is already suspect, right? Well, the problem is, if you want to be, let's say, so flexible, if you want to understand the situation, you have to understand the fact that, in this economy, most men are not well off. So if you're going to have this silly and unorthodox position that you need to be, let's say, financially stable, because, oh, I'm so scared about, instead of looking at, let's say, the virtues of a man, you cannot have it both ways. Women used to marry older men because they were stabler, and they were more stable in terms of their personality and in terms of economics. You cannot have it both ways. If you marry a young man, you know that he might not grow up to be they uh, all they all they want to be, all they seem to be. So you're taking a gamble, whether you want it or not. So you don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to marry the young guy who is also rich, who's also good looking, and this and that and this and that. You're never going to get married if that's your perspective. And this does not mean, let's say, just grab whatever you have because this is the market you've got. And no, there's no market. God will give you who you are meant to be with. But this idea that, the problem is that the men, they're not fit, and this and that. No. It's not that they're not fit. Most of the converts are men. There's a reason for that. If you want to be cynical, the reason is that society in the West is, let's say, punishing men for no reason and rewarding women for no reason. That's why men are fed up with society. That's why, and these people who are so concerned about these new converts, you know what? If you're a priest, you should do something about it. You should lead your flock instead of being oh so concerned. And if you're not a priest, shut up. Shut up. Stop bad mouthing my brothers. Stop bad mouthing my brothers, because men are going to church while women aren't. That's the end. If you can't understand that, I'm sorry, you're too stupid to have a conversation. So that's it. That was all I had to say. Any closing thoughts, Nadim?
No, it was way too strong for me to add, and
Well,
I also consider all of the men that are coming to the church my brothers, and I wouldn't badmouth them anyway. And badmouthing them it touches me in the wrong way. Like, don't attack someone who just converted, ever, man or woman, but especially men, because we're already attacked too much from the word. We're not gonna get attacked from the church. No, never. So Lord have mercy on us all. We're all, and glory to God for all things.
glory to God for all.
Thank you for having me on, Ivan. It was very nice.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you. So see you guys